we're covering here the American strikes on Iran that were renewed maybe just over an hour ago. And again, there was a warning from the early hours of Wednesday from the U.S. President and the U.S. Secretary of War that the U.S. will hit Iran strongly tonight. What had happened 24 hours earlier is that the U.S. had responded to the downing of an Apache helicopter by conducting strikes in Iran and then declaring that the operations were over for now. But then this was there was a change of heart maybe or something on Wednesday, so the strikes were renewed. And again, the U.S. officials and even the U.S. President himself do stress that the strikes do not mean that there is no chance for negotiations or no chance for a peace deal. In fact, some American officials insist that these strikes are aimed at bringing Iran back to the negotiating table. Whether this happens or not remains to be seen, and whether this spirals out of control also remains to be seen. With us now is Mr. Ahmed Maharem. He is a journalist and a senior writer and expert on international affairs, and he's talking to us all the way from New York. Mr. Maharem?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes, good late afternoon, I guess, in New York. So tell us what you know, sir, about the strikes, the latest or the renewed. It's been a while now that we've not seen big strikes by America on Iran, but this happened on this Wednesday and yesterday. So tell us about the situation. I mean, how do you see the developments?
Well, after a good night, I think it's not easy for anyone to make any kind of analysis of understanding why this has happened. While President Trump, for the last few days, he was giving a kind of hope that everything is going to be all right with Iranian and the negotiation with the effort of Pakistan as a mediator is going to be quite good. And then we find something different. Nobody actually can be able to easy to understand it. Maybe every party they have their own opinion, but I think my opinion is that President Trump is under different kind of pressure. His own people in New York or the United States, they are actually very fed up from all these 100 days. America is involved in this war with no need, with no result, with no objective. Plus another effort or another pressure from the international world that what happened caused a lot of economy kind of pressure in the international world. So President Trump is actually in between both, either the pressure from his own people locally, America, or pressure from overseas as people in the world.
What about the biggest, perhaps, element of pressure of all, and that's the Israeli element? I mean, couldn't Israel be behind this escalation? And I mean, and after Iran a few days ago hit Israel and Israel hit back, and after the situation really was very tense in Lebanon with the Israeli attacks there, and so Iran hit at Israel, Israel hit back, and after that tense phone call between Mr. Trump and the Israeli war crime suspect prime minister, maybe it's the Israel element, and maybe Israel again and Netanyahu again was able to convince Trump of returning back to war. Isn't that a big possibility?
I think that's true. It's another fact that it's almost 100 days now since the conflict started. Nowadays, everybody in America or somewhere else, they understand that because of this war that Israel are pushing hardly America to be along with them to do that for Iranians. I think the result of the conflict after 100 days is not going to be easy to give another kind of analysis or hope that the conflict will be solved any time. If President Trump has all this power to give Benjamin Netanyahu kind of advice or order, don't push anymore for Lebanon, the South Lebanon, and after all these negotiations, he still, Benjamin Netanyahu is doing so. That means he would like to do alone, no matter if he has a pressure for America or not. I think the coming few days is going to show us how the conflict is giving the two parties, America and Israel, are totally in different objectives.
Well, the situation is very fluid, Mr. Maharem. Let me ask you this. There are a number of possibilities here. One of them is that this is just, strikes that are aimed to force Iran back to the negotiating table. And if that is the case, then these strikes will not be very strong. They will be limited in scope, in time, and so on. And there's another possibility that these strikes are aimed at reaching a point where America can declare, entre parenthèses, victory. And if that is the case, then these strikes will be very strong, they will be sustained, they will last for a number of days, and they will hit the civilian infrastructure and so on. And maybe there are other possibilities. What do you think is the most probable scenario that will come out of this?
Well, I think it's too hard to give any kind of opinion because what's happening is nobody exactly knows what is in the mind of America, and particularly in the mind of President Donald Trump. I think he is so much pushed by the desire of Benjamin Netanyahu not to end this kind of war, but also to escalate the matter for some reason. And the people in America, the citizens, they are really wondering why America used to be America first, but it seems like in certain decisions and certain situations like we are in now, that Israel is first. Israel is pushing America to do this kind of conflict on their behalf.
And all right, on that note, we thank you very much, our dear guest from New York, Mr. Ahmed Maharem, the journalist, writer, and expert on international relations. And we also, by that, come to the end of this special edition covering the latest American strikes against Iran in what seems to be, at least for now, a renewal of the U.S.-Israel war on Iran, a very tense, a very fluid situation. Will this be sustained? Will be a strong strike, and will we have strikes for the upcoming days before a potential declaration of victory by the U.S. president, or will this be short-lived, and will we see an announcement like we saw yesterday by the American military saying that's an end to the operations for now, and perhaps the goal is to get Iran back to the negotiating table? Will Iran go back to the negotiating table under any circumstances? How heavily or will Israel be involved at all in this around? How will this affect the situation in Lebanon? Many questions that we'll try to find answers in the upcoming hours, days, maybe just days ahead, maybe not even weeks. And we'll be covering it here for you, here on Nile TV International. That's a wrap for now. In just over 5 minutes, we'll be back with the latest happening outside of the U.S.-Israel-Iran war and events related to the U.S.-Israel-Iran situation. Please don't go far. Thank you for staying with us.